Welcome back or welcome to the Surf Mastery Podcast, education and inspiration for better surfing and a better surfing life. I am your host, Michael Frampton. Today's episode is about surfing and stoicism, why good surfers think like Stoics, and how Stoic philosophy can make you a better surfer. I recently reread The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. It's a very famous book. It's a short and modern summary of the ancient Stoic philosophy, Stoicism. And I realized just how stoic we are as surfers, certainly good and experienced surfers. If you surf, you're already a student of Stoicism. And if you're a good surfer, you're actually very stoic already. And if you're completely new to surfing, I think Stoic philosophy can really help you on your journey. So today I'm just going to give a little bit of an overview of Stoicism and how it relates to surfing. Now, one of the core teachings of early Stoicism is that a smooth flow of life comes from living in agreement with nature. Surfing is a literal embodiment of this idea. You cannot fight the ocean. You must observe it, respect it, and learn to move in harmony with the ocean. Zeno, one of the original Stoics who this teaching is attributed to, didn't just mean nature in terms of Mother Nature in its literal sense, but he also meant it in terms of human nature, other people, society, and of course our own nature, which is very important, I think, to note these nuances. In surfing, obviously, we want to live in agreement with Mother Nature, the ocean, and the weather patterns, etc. And as a surfer, we need to read and predict these, adapt and utilize them. But nature, as in human nature, other people, because other surfers are everywhere. So we've got lineup politics and ethics. They're unavoidable, especially at your local break. If you want to consistently go out and surf the same place amongst the same people, we have to get on with everyone, and we have to learn the unspoken rules and ethics of surfing in general and also for that particular break. And of course, self-knowledge, our own nature, our own deep desires to surf, we need to live in agreement with that. Because if you try and deny that part of you, you live in FOMO, fear of missing out, and you don't go surfing enough to satisfy that inner surfer. And it can certainly encompass and take over one's mind. And of course, if you go the other way and you embrace that inner surfing desire too much, it can certainly lead to ruining other aspects of your life and your relationships. So we must have a balance. We must learn to live in agreement with all three aspects of nature in order to be a good surfer. A smooth flow of life comes from living in agreement with nature. It's almost like a surfer came up with that principle. Stoicism at its heart is about focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't. And furthermore, as surfers, we need to utilize what we can't control to adapt to and play with the ocean and the crowd. And if you want to be a good surfer, you cannot get away from that principle. What can we control as surfers? We can control the way we move, our bodies. We can control our minds, what we focus on, our inner dialogue. And of course, we can control our equipment, choices, and where we surf. We cannot control the weather, the waves, the conditions, or other surfers. We must learn to accept those. We can, of course, learn to read the ocean better and understand surf culture and human psychology, but we've got to accept these things as they are and focus on what we can control. The ancient Stoics talked about 4 virtues: courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Surfing is dangerous, especially if you're going to push yourself into bigger waves or surf rougher conditions or busier crowds. Courage is incredibly important. And courage isn't just about ignoring fear. It's about feeling the fear, acknowledging it, and moving forward logically. Improving your surfing requires that you repeatedly step into danger and discomfort, not recklessly, but willingly. And over time, this builds a quiet, grounded courage, the kind that the Stoics admired the most. Temperance. Temperance is about self-control and moderation. Now, if you surf for long enough, you'll eventually call somewhere home, you'll become a local, and temperance is going to be really important. because other surfers and the ocean will punish anger, impatience, and entitlement. However, Mother Nature and the crowd will reward calm and measured decision-making. This is Stoic temperance in practice. Temperance in surfing is about choosing waves without being greedy. It's about controlling your emotions and behaving fairly. It's about the way you conduct yourself, not only in the lineup and when you're surfing a wave, but also in the car park. If you show a lack of temperance and self-control or moderation, the ocean and the crowd will humble you. Now, this segues very easily into justice. Justice is deeply embedded in surf culture, particularly with lineup politics. The ancient Stoics associated justice with fairness, kindness, and reverence. Fairness and kindness, they're obvious. And every lineup has its informal judges and experienced surfers that will enforce the unspoken rules. Now, sometimes that enforcement can come through harsh words or passive-aggressive drop-ins. But reverence is an interesting word. The Stoics thought of reverence as a deep, solemn respect for something greater than yourself. The ocean. Surfing demands reverence for the ocean's power, its chaos, its cycles. If you choose the wrong wave or push beyond your capabilities, the consequences will arrive swiftly, and the ocean will humble you without malice. Justice will be served. So surfers certainly learn reverence through experience and acceptance. Wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. And in Stoicism, it begins with understanding what you can and cannot control. Surfing teaches this lesson with brutal clarity. You cannot control the ocean or other surfers. What you can control is how you respond. And we respond with our board choice, the way we move, the waves we choose, your positioning in the lineup, your timing, your breathing, your inner dialogue, and of course, self-awareness and awareness of your surroundings. The wise surfer is hyper-aware of both themselves and their surroundings. The wise surfer chooses the right board for their ability and the conditions. Good surfers exercise restraint when necessary because wisdom cannot be rushed. It comes from time in the water. It's not just about learning how to face the ocean with courage, but learning how to roll with it, how to dance with Mother Nature, having grace not only in the way you surf, but in the way you conduct yourself in the lineup and even the car park. And if we show courage and we maintain our temperance, our reverence, and accept the balance of justice, over time, these traits can become instinctive, and then we will become wise surfers. Now, the experienced surfer listening to this may just begin to realize how stoic they already are, and maybe just how some of the philosophy that you've learnt through your time as a surfer can be applied to other parts of your life. And if you're new to surfing, I think Stoicism offers a really cool framework to think about surfing and to help guide your journey. These simple principles can help you relax in the water, manage frustration, trust in the process, and approach surfing with intelligence rather than ego. Because as surfers, we remember those 7 seconds on a wave, not the 90 minutes of paddling and duck diving and wipeouts and cold water and locals. We stoically choose not to dwell on the sufferings and the challenges. Instead, we remain patient, resilient, and optimistic, always ready for and seeking out the next opportunity to dance on a wave. And it is the stoke of those brief yet seemingly perfect moments that keep us engaged and courageous despite everything we must endure to reach them. Stoicism equals stoke. Now, if you're intrigued by Stoicism, I recommend the book The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. It's a very concise and modern summary of ancient Stoicism. And Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is the most quoted and popular original text. So thanks for tuning in. And if you liked this episode, please share it with a friend. And until next time, keep surfing.